Hey guys, welcome to our office. I'm Derek Lee. I've been with WGI since November of 2021, and I went to James Madison University. Go Dukes!
I'm Cole Orsini. I've been with WGI for about 7 months now. I started back same time as Derek in November of 2021. Derek and I are both environmental scientists with the environmental division here at WGI.
And a typical day in the office for us looks a lot like this. That term doesn't exist. There is no typical day. Our days are all over the place. One day we're in the office, we're formulating data, pushing through reports, we're setting up our field prep for future assignments. The next day we're off in the woods, we're in the swamps, we're out in the wild. And then some days we're supposed to be in the office and all of a sudden we're in the field. So there's nothing typical, but hey, if that kind of job sounds great to you, this is the role for you. Hey, so welcome back. After a few days in the field, we're back in the office. This is my workspace. Got the nice window view. Our group is responsible for assisting our clients with anything that has to do with environmental concerns or permitting. Example of a couple of these are Phase 1 site assessments, Phase 2 contamination testing, wetland delineations, and wildlife surveys. There's many different aspects to working as part of the environmental group. Every project's different, every client's needs are different, every piece of property is different and poses a different type of permit that may be necessary, and that's where we come in as a group to be sure that we guide our clients to the best of our ability to make sure they stay within compliance.
Well, I would definitely say learning a lot of the softwares that are required in this field as environmental scientists. A lot of AutoCAD and ArcGIS work is involved. So there's definitely a learning curve coming into that, but once I was able to get my hands on it, and a lot of the other great environmental scientists that have been with WGI for a few more years than I have, a lot of those people were able to help me learn how to use these different programs.
And that brings up the question of, do we interact with clients? Me specifically, as an environmentalist in my role, I do not have much client interaction. A lot of our project managers actually handle a lot of the direct communication between us and our clients. Sometimes there are questions that arise, and I've been on site and had an opportunity to actually visually inspect a property, and therefore it's a little bit easier for me to answer for the client. A lot of times I do interact with clients on site. They're very curious as to what our job is. They're very curious to learn things about their land and about the soil, maybe some vegetation they didn't know, and that's where we come in. We get to look really smart and teach them a few things maybe they didn't know. Every project is super cool and super unique. Here in Florida with WGI, we get to travel all over the state, helping out on all kinds of different environmental projects, whether it's gopher tortoise surveys, benthic surveys, tree surveys, wetland delineations. We're all jack of all trades here on this environmental team. So one of the coolest places I ever got to go and be a part of, we did a big wetland delineation in northeast Jacksonville, where me and my team, we ended up delineating over 77 miles worth of wetlands.
As an environmental scientist, besides sites like this, I get to go to cool places all the time. One of my favorite, recently I went down to Key Largo and I was able to do a benthic resource survey. So we were diving in some canals down in Key Largo, Florida, and I was able to scuba, and we saw all sorts of interesting wildlife, and we were able to do our benthic resource survey looking for corals and seagrasses.
When I was in college, did I know if this is what I wanted to do? Absolutely not. When I went to college, I actually had no idea what I wanted to do. I started off at community college, just kind of decided to get a feel for what my likes and interests were, and turned out it was math and science. And then from there, I kind of ran with it, and yeah, here we are. I'm an environmentalist here at WGI.
I'd say definitely. Later in my college career, I was actually able to find out about environmental consulting through recent graduates who had entered the workforce already. A lot of them going into the environmental field told me about the opportunities in environmental consulting, and that's what led me to WGI.
My advice to them is, I'm just going to give you the same piece of advice that was given to me during my first internship. My mentor that I had, he told me to be a wet sponge in a dry environment. And by this, that means listen to your project managers, listen to coworkers that have been there, listen to your senior leadership, soak up as much information as you can, Every person that's around you as part of a team at WGI, they want you to be the best version of yourself. We're only as strong as our weakest link. I know it's cliche, but it really is true. There's so much communication between different divisions and groups here at WGI to make a project successful. And if you do that, it'll go a long ways to you developing as a very talented professional.